Hello. On behalf of Lifetime University and the executive management team, I want to thank you for taking the time to participate in this pre-learning for Leadership the Lifetime Way. This pre-learning will give you the opportunity to interact and be an active participant at your upcoming QBR. The 9 traits and characteristics, otherwise known as the core values of Lifetime, are what drive Lifetime to be the incredible place that it is to work. These core values give us the opportunity to ensure that we have a bedrock for the culture of care that makes working at Lifetime so darn cool. We're asking that you take the time to participate in learning now, so that when you come to the QBR, you will be that active participant who can really give your insight to others and help them learn what being a leader at Lifetime truly is. This will take you a little bit of time over the next couple of weeks, but I know that time will be valuable to you and to your team. The 9 traits and characteristics that make up our core values allow us to demonstrate leadership in ways that put the culture of care first and foremost in front of all of our team members. Your participation as a leader is the reason why we're going to be successful in the future for Lifetime. We want to thank you for your participation now and for your participation at the QBR. Good luck and have an awesome day.
Well, vision means that you can allow people to see what's possible. And I think it's about allowing them to have something that excites them, that they can live passionately first and foremost. Because you can't fake that. It's got to be genuine and authentic. And vision needs to be something that can show people what's possible and also what success might look like and what the end might look like. Most importantly to me, vision needs to be something that pulls you, not something that you have to force yourself into doing. Let's break down 5 things that vision does for us. Vision shows us where we're headed, number 1. Secondly, the vision provides motivation, inspires us to keep on going. Third, vision helps us keep moving forward. Fourth, vision provides focus and alignment. Focus and alignment. And lastly, and probably most critically, I would say, vision gives us meaning and purpose to everything that we do. And I think as human beings, we all strive deeply to find meaning and purpose in our lives. My expectations for the team around vision are for them to be conscious of it, be aware of it. Think about the company vision, think about their divisional vision, think about the vision that they have for their own life, their families, and their career. And make sure they take time out of their busy day and recalibrate their own visions. And then I expect them, in order to have success, that they put a plan behind that, how to get things done plan behind that. Because vision without execution is nothing more than a mirage. So you need to have a detailed plan of how you're going to get it done.
One thing that really spoke to me was when Jay-Z said having an hour every week and being able to sit down and plan out your vision and then having your strategy and communicating that to your team. I don't do that right now, and every Monday morning I'm going to do that so that my team has a clear strategy and they know exactly what we're going after for the week, the month, and the year.
Well, I use vision every day to tie back everything we're doing to the vision of changing lives at Lifetime. I think we're so blessed to be able to work in the industry that we are in and to connect the dots between some of the things that are going to feel mundane or tactical, but at the end of the day help build this great thing into changing more lives and impacting more of our team members. That's the way I can continue to get excited about the scope and depth and breadth of all that we do.
Courage at Lifetime is defined as a leader who can face obstacles and face barriers and break through those barriers, and also someone who can accept criticism and be vulnerable. And that's, to me, one of the big takeaways today is for you to really think about the different paradoxes of leadership and the different counterbalancing forces. And as a leader, think about how do you make that balancing act. And you'll walk away today realizing that leadership is so much more of an art than it is a science. It's how fast do you push your teams? When do you need to back down and slow down? When do you need to be bold? When do you need to show empathy?
So as far as courage, I think the biggest thing is it also ties back to communication. So when maybe we see something at Lifetime, or we're in a meeting, or we see an opportunity to interject, and we all kind of have that intrinsic thought of, man, should I raise my hand? Should I voice a concern or voice a question? How are other people going to react? I would say that's probably the biggest thing, is knowing when to, in a meeting or in a large group of people, be able to interject a thought or interject a message, and we all think to ourselves if we should or shouldn't.
Frankly, it takes a lot of courage to get behind a message and really explain the why behind the things that you're doing, but then also giving that feedback that we talked about, the constructive feedback, both as a leader, having the courage to really care enough about your team members to give that feedback, but also as a team member, having the courage to take that feedback and learn from it and not take it personal, but more so how can you take it and apply it and to improve yourself.
So again, 3 elements. Great listeners. We've got to become great listeners as leaders. The second element is really to value and cherish other perspectives. The last, or the third element that I want you to think about as a leader of your team and a leader of this company is we have to engage more in dialogue and not debate. So courage for me really isn't about single moments of time. Courage for me is really about every single day waking up and being purpose-driven. And that's what I love about Lifetime. I mean, I'm here because I've got a passion for our members. I've got a passion for changing lives. So as Bahram and I have talked about, it's really about waking up every single day, putting on your battle armor, having the energy and the willpower to do whatever necessary for the member experience and to create that positive member environment in our club. As leaders, we need to be multipliers. We need to get the best out of every team member. We need to create an environment where they can show courage and they can help drive this company for the next 25 years.
So for me and at Lifetime, clear communication is the ability to effectively articulate a vision so that people can get aligned. It's explaining the why, the what, and the how, and listening for feedback to make sure we've got great alignment. Leaders can clearly explain the why, create a picture of the what, and describe to others the how, so that they can feel good about following. I think there's a few critical things. Distill, distill, distill. Be thoughtful about your message. What is the essence of what you need to say? Be accurate about the message that you're conveying, and keep it simple. Keep it short and to the point. Most important, really know your objective. Of all the 50 things you could say, bring it down to the few that really matter to your objective. And second, know your audience. What is it that you need them to know? What are they trying to accomplish? How do you get your objective accomplished with just a few key elements of communication?
I always make sure that the person understands clearly what it is that they're doing. So a lot of times they come into, whether it is a program or in Lifetime in general, and they have the question as far as what is it that I'm doing here, and them having a clear, precise understanding of what their why is, that's the clear communication that we want to set as the foundation.
Well, I just learned that I'm going to need to learn how to simplify my message a little bit more. So really think about the emails I'm sending, and as we're meeting calls, how can I simplify simplify that message? And knowing that I have to go to, at this point, 130 clubs, how can I employ that top back a little bit to ensure that it's not just me talking, but they're listening to me? So I've got some thinking to do there.
The first is know your objective. What is your goal? What are you trying to accomplish? Second, know your audience. Who are they? What do they care about? What do they need to know? What do you need to do with them to get to your objective? Be thoughtful. Do your research. Do your analysis. Put some thought behind it. Glean out the insight. Explain the why, the what, and the how. Practice talkback and actively listen. Engaged listening, clarifying, getting feedback. So let's look at a quote. The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. So often we think we've communicated, but what has really happened is two people have talked to each other and they know what they said, but they don't really know what the other person heard. They don't know what the other person took away. They don't know if they're in alignment. They were too busy preparing their responses. I would say a lot of it is listening and observing. It's actually not just what's said, it's what's unsaid. It's watching the team, making sure points of view are coming in, that we're getting the feedback, getting to a better answer. And then for me, making sure I'm distilling the message, clearly articulating it and repeating it so that it is well known through the organization. If you're a caring leader, if there's a culture of care, if people know that you care about them, then you have an obligation, not only, and you definitely want to share the positives with them, but to share the constructive criticism that will help them grow.
So thrust is about having the personal power to do whatever it takes to be able to achieve the objective. Thrust is about thinking about innately how you can versus why you can't achieve what you're looking to set out to do. When you think about thrust, it's a bunch of different things. Thrust is about being scrappy. Thrust is about taking calculated risk. Thrust is about both confidence and competence. The mix of all these things together and the combination of these ingredients with the varying qualities and characteristics that make it truly the special or an extraordinary sauce. Well, the way I would like people to think about applying thrust in their role is first, thrust is a must at Lifetime. We need intensity, we need passion, we need our people to be scrappy. We need them to find a way, even if they may not have all the resources and the assets to get something done. They have to have both confidence and competence in how they work. They need to, of course, have passion. So thrust is all those characteristics and qualities all tied into one that makes it absolutely so extraordinary. First off, I want to talk about being nimble and flexible. Secondly, stay focused, as Michael said as well, on the why. Don't get caught up in the process, but rather stay focused on the outcomes. And lastly, don't deploy the culture of care in everything that we're doing, always treating people with respect and dignity.
And for thrust in the spot, I think it comes down to two main things. It's having grit and a high IQ and bringing those two things together to go drive your business. So each and every day we're setting daily targets, we're rewarding and recognizing strong performances on those daily goals, but not losing sight of our mid and long-term goals.
And so we've got lift. And now as I think about thrust and how I can use it and incorporate it in my division, it really seems to be about now getting a little more horsepower. I have scouts that are part of that team to make sure that we can really scout out and find the talent to help have an even greater impact in the people revolution or the performer revolution.
Mm-hmm. Leaders often innately think about how they can versus why they can't. When you think about an underperforming business or an underperforming club, or when you think about starting a new concept from nothing, this is really hard, right? And thrust is an absolute necessity for you to be able to turn an underperforming business around, an underperforming club, or get something started from scratch. I'm so proud of where we are as a company and a brand. Without the tireless work of all of our 30,000 plus team members, we'd never be at the place where we are now, which is allowing us to go into a hyper-growth phase. We're the high-end country club and resort in everything that we deliver with our customer. If we do those things and follow the golden rule of treating the customer exactly the way we'd want to be treated, then everything will take care of itself, and we will do wonderful things.
I think integrity needs to be applied in all situations. I don't think there is a situation where we don't need to have integrity as opposed to situations where we do. I think integrity needs to be absolutely and uniformly applied in all situations. You have to be truthful and honest in every situation, good one or bad one. Great leaders say what they do and do what they say, even when no one is watching. When things go off course, they can admit something went wrong and choose a new course. They are trustworthy. How can we put integrity into action? To establish integrity, you must consistently repeat your actions until your team trusts that you will always act appropriately, even when no one's watching. If you don't practice honesty all the time, your people can never trust you, because they will never know when you're being honest or not. We all have integrity, and we all have the ability to practice and nurture it and grow it.
It's reminding the team what we're doing and why we're doing it, right? It's not so we can scrape up every single dollar that's out there, right? We want to do it, and we want to stand behind our practice, and we want to feel good about what we do at the end of the day. Well, then I'm going to walk through, things that I've done right and things that I've gone back and questioned my judgment on, and say, what do you guys think? Let's test your integrity. Let's see. How would you have handled this? Did I do it right? Could I have done things differently?
It's not always pretty. I will tell you that sometimes unwinding mistakes and really getting to understand how they were made can be a painful process, but you feel pretty good after it's done, and I know that we're always on the right course, and I've learned something from it. The colleagues that I've worked with have learned something from it, and I think a real sort of evolution, metamorphosis happens that makes it less likely that we will make those same mistakes in the future. Doing these things will create a culture where your team members will feel safe coming to you with their own mistakes and problems, or coming safe to talk to you, feeling safe coming to talk to you about a mistake that you may have made. Create that culture by creating a culture of trust. Never compromise it. Always practice it, never compromise it, and be willing to stand in front of people and tell them openly and honestly how you came to a decision and why it is you did what you did. Be open, honest, and truthful about everything you do, and you can maintain it pretty easily.
Benevolence at Lifetime it's leaders who are willing to put the interest of others ahead of their own interests. They're willing to show appreciation to others, and they really view their position as one of responsibility, not a privilege. It's about being genuine and caring. Let me break it down into 3 parts. The first one is we're willing to put the well-being of others ahead of our own. Second, show appreciation. Make sure you show the right appreciation. That means genuinely getting to know your team members, genuinely taking the time to know what are their professional goals and desires, what are their personal interests, what drives them as a person. And this is one that's hard for all of us. Some people want to be recognized in public, some want to be recognized in private. Every team member has a little different way to be motivated and to be recognized. So take the time to get to know them and show them the right appreciation.
I think the key in the first option is to get to know the team and help them understand that I'm there to help them in all situations that may arise. Giving back to them is just as important as us each day doing the things that we do, because if a team member sees that we care about them, that we're in it for them, and that we want them to be a part of what we do, they'll do 110% every single day they come to work.
Let me start with it's a responsibility, not a privilege, which is the last part of the definition. Do you feel the weight of being a leader on your shoulders? Do you feel that, or do you feel pretty easygoing, things are good, my team's motivated, they're working, life is good? You shouldn't. You should feel the weight of the responsibility. I know I do as a leader of this company, of really guiding us in the right direction and balancing all the different stakeholders and all the interests we have. The biggest way to practice benevolence is taking time. You really got to carve out the time to spend with your team members. You need to engage with them on both a professional and a personal basis. As a leader, take the time, carve it out, spend the time with your team members, get to really understand them. That'll help drive the long-term success of this company.
I love Lifetime for the passion that we have. Everywhere you look, there's energy, there's excitement, there's enthusiasm. It's in thousands and thousands of the people at Lifetime today.
I think that everyone at Lifetime, again, has passion at their core. Otherwise, they wouldn't work here, because it isn't the easiest company to work for, but it's something that bonds all of us. And the fact that this company at the top with the leaders are willing to embrace that, talk about it, and encourage it is what excites me to bring it back to my team and say, you know what, it's okay to be wild and crazy and passionate about what it is that we do. It's a key characteristic to the Lifetime leadership way.
I think what's most important is for people to think about what they're excited about at Lifetime. Why are they here? What is it that drives them? And by connecting with that and doing more of it, their energy will naturally increase, their enthusiasm will increase, and that will be infectious, it will be contagious, and it will help everyone around them. So that's the key. Identify what you love, why you're here, and share that. After you've figured out what you connect with, what energizes you, encourage your team to do the same thing. Ask them to identify what energizes them. What do they enjoy doing? What do they love, and why do they love Lifetime? And help them explore it and appreciate them for it when they demonstrate it. Encourage them to do more of it so that they can live a life with more passion and convey that passion to everyone else at Lifetime.
I think like most people at Lifetime, what I'm crazy passionate about is serving others and helping people on their healthy way of life journey, helping them discover what they're most passionate about around wellness, caring for themselves, caring for their families. We get to do that every day. It's amazing.
So let's look at a quick quote. Passion will move men and women beyond themselves, beyond their shortcomings, beyond their failures. I think that passion also develops resilience. When you hit that adversity, when you trip and you fall, you get up and you keep running. And then you trip and you fall again, you get up and you keep running. So for me, my whole life is energy and passion. I love what I do, but I want you to think and connect with what that can be for you. What energizes and rewards and nourishes your soul so that you can be more of an energetic, enthusiastic leader. My core passion is helping people live happier lives. And I'm at Lifetime because I get to do that every day. Our brand purpose is to champion your healthy, happy life. And so every day, all day, everything I do is all about my passion. So I'm super lucky that way. And I love Lifetime.
I would define empathy as caring for others in a non-judgmental way. Becoming empathetic is a personal development. So I would encourage all of my folks to get comfortable looking within to understand themselves first, because if you're truly going to be a great leader, you have to be able to deal with all sorts of different types of emotions in the folks that you're working with. And to truly be able to understand and appreciate somebody's emotions, you have to understand and appreciate how you've reacted when you've experienced those emotions.
I really wanted to distinguish for you what was always difficult for me to distinguish, and that's the difference between empathy and sympathy. They are completely different.
I think one important takeaway I had was this idea of not starting with at least, at least ... because I'm a kind of a fixer and an optimist at heart, and so I think I would default to that and feel like it's maybe helpful trying to say, oh well, contrast it. At least it's not this other really bad thing that could be happening.
Not casting judgment on other people's perception and other people's reality. I think a lot of times I do this at home, just like I do at work. People come to me with a problem, and in a moment where I can be really empathetic, I jump at them with a solution. And I go, oh no, I've been through that before, and what you do is blah, 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 blah. And they respond a lot of times the same way my wife does when I do that at home. They just want someone to understand and be empathetic to the situation, not jump right in with, oh no, that's not how it is, and judging and giving recommendations and moving right along. Taking that time to slow down, take a deep breath, and show them that you really care and understand what they're experiencing.
Great leaders are genuinely considerate and sensitive to how others feel when faced with challenging situations. Empathetic leaders strive to eliminate pain and celebrate the wins of others. I agree. Empathy is all about being considerate and sensitive. You have to be considerate of what is being experienced by those around you. You have to understand that without judgment. And at the center of that care, my friends, is empathy. It has to be authentic, and it has to come from you first understanding and accepting your own vulnerabilities.
So love, when I think about it for my family and for my wife, for instance, means something different than what I think about at work. But love at work is really about building friendship, camaraderie, and a culture of care so that every person knows that they matter. Everyone's in position to actually fulfill their passion with the work they do, and everyone knows that they got each other's back.
Great leaders are propelled by an intense feeling of affection for our planet and people. They bring people together with their positive energy and unselfish loyalty and enthusiasm. They embrace everyone without prejudice.
I think love is the killer app at Lifetime that makes us unique. It's not a thing that comes from it. It's the culture of care. It's the idea that we're mission driven. We know that people that come and work at Lifetime, it either works for you or it doesn't, because we know when people are mission minded, they want to actually connect their passion with their profession, and they actually have that sense of camaraderie and team. Lifetime just lights up their world, and in turn, they light up Lifetime's world.
There's over 100 ways to show love that take no less than 2 to 5 seconds. Take a look. See how they populate.
Yeah, it's just like those on the moment, acts of appreciation. Taking them to lunch, congratulating them on great things that they do, showing that true interest in their accomplishments and what's going on in their lives. Really taking the time just to really sit down and to be able to connect with them.
Love is the context for all 8 other traits and characteristics. If we think about love being the context of everything else, what I think happens when we actually approach this with a selflessness, with an ability to actually take the mask off, as Eric so eloquently said earlier, and I really appreciated that story. It hit me, really impacted me. We take the face off, and we actually, for a moment, or maybe even a lot of moments, start to be real and share and care. As that culture of care comes back in, here's what I think happens. Love makes all of these things bigger. And I think what we'll find is when we start to use the word love, and we start and we end with love, great things can happen.
So I think love is the context at Lifetime. And I think if we continue to be mission-minded, we're going to find that that's going to be something that's going to carry us through thick and thin and to the highest heights of success.